Oh my goodness. I am out of chuckles because we chuckled too daggum hard. Pre-show. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday night. Thank you for joining this impromptu live stream. I had some questions sitting on my heart. Thank you, Johnie, for joining me. My random. Hey, good morning. Good morning. I think I was like, listen.
I got it around 2:30 when I actually woke up.
I was like, he's probably not even. Hopefully, he's not up yet, so I won't wake him up. Or if he's up, he's like right before he goes to bed. I just don't want to wake.
I slept like Mike Tyson hit me inside the face.
Oh, really?
I was boom. I was gone. You could have lit firecrackers in my ears. I wouldn't have woke up.
That's not
I don't know what's going on.
I need to get my mind back from our previous conversation because ear was not the orifice I thought you were going to say that you could put.
I don't wear boxer shorts and sweatpants.
And bend over. Didn't wonder why all hell broke loose.
No free shows. No free shows.
No. We'll just keep letting people join in. We'll get into housekeeping in a minute. I will fill everybody in on what Johnie and I are talking about. I just need my stomachs to stop hurting. Johnie, how is tarot class going?
Tarot class is going well. As I said to you, my English is not so good, but the tarot class is going very well. We got 6 weeks to go, I think. And we'll be done. Hopefully I can do it again, but we shall see. We'll have to tweak some things and so forth and so forth, but it's going good. Retrograde is right in the midst, though, because I sent the email to the entire class, but only sent it to myself. So
we're going to talk about Mercury retrograde and her and what she's doing later in the show, but she is in rare form. I actually I had a client today that's in your tarot class, and this person gave rave reviews about how the class is going. So kudos to you.
You're good.
You're an amazing teacher. This person is like, I am already ready to keep. I'm just throwing out pop, pop, pop. I was like, makes you feel very confident and like you can. Because I had been playing around with tarot for years before doing your Patreon. And I was like, oh, now this makes sense. Oh, shit. Where was he years ago? So, and then tomorrow night, what else is on your housekeeping? Tomorrow night?
We will be live on my channel tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Already did one cooking stream the other day where we tested some things and tasted some things. I do have another one planned because I did not actually do the donuts, but
I'm going back to the vinegar conversation we had. And while I didn't say it at the time, I'm saying now I hate you.
I mean, but when you put vinegar in your mouth, what else is it going to taste like?
Yeah. Chicken chips. Johnie ate some chicken chips. I made up a song about our chicken chips.
I do have some more coming too, by the way. But they were okay. The buffalo was okay. The vinegar tastes like summer's eve, like I said before. Guys have no what it tastes like. Just mind your own business.
Oh my God. So there was this TikTok where this guy was like, have you ever gotten cussed out for something that you did when you were little, but nobody told you why they cussed you out, and you have to find out later in life? So apparently his brother and his cousin would see the bag with the apparatus in the shower. And so they used to take the bag with the apparatus and would fill the bag with water and would squirt water in each other's mouths and would drink out of it in the shower like it was a hose. So his auntie came in and he said she just beat all three of them. And he was like, and he couldn't figure it out because she wasn't like a hitting type of person. She was but she just was like, get that out your and so. But she never told them why. And then he gets later in life and he's like, she should have just told us. I mean, when he realized it, he was just like, he was like, we would just suck out of it like it was a Capri Sun.
Not Capri Sun.
Those weren't his words, those were my words. I was like, suck at it like it was a juice basket.
Don't know what that flavor is, but they didn't sell that one. No.
It's like juice, but chicken chips. We got so tomorrow. We got so sidetracked. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, your channel, Becca, you, and Jen Lett.
Something like that. I don't know. It'll come back to, I don't know. Yes. That's exactly right.
You went back. You went to a land far.
My mind walked away. Could you tell?
I'm so curious to know where you went based on the conversation we were having.
Now, I grew up with the bag in the house, but I never once thought to drink. Now, the water hose outside,
out of it.
But I never thought, this is not a water guns, water balloons. I've drank water out of both of those, but never once did I think to fill that up and squirt it into my mouth at all.
I did fill it up and squeeze it because like an accordion, because I thought, but then the smell of the vinegar was so off-putting to me that I was like, I don't know if I want to do this again. And so I just put it away. But I never, like you said, I never would have thought to like drink out of it.
It's in the bathroom. I figured it's something gross. That's what I thought.
Ever should be in the bathroom. So that was my deductive reason.
I always wondered though, why is the tube that long? You got the bag, and then you got this tube that wraps around the whole shower,
like a colonoscopy tube.
Like, do you need that entire thing? What's really
only so okay? Anyway, it's not that long. I mean,
8 minutes in, Lord Jesus.
8 minutes in. Housekeeping on my end. Don't forget to join us this upcoming Friday, which is going to be like 20th, I think. 21st, Friday 21st.
Wow, January 1.
Our mystical mayhem. What did we off the topic? Sienna gave us our official name last night. It'll come back.
Something about off the rails or off the something. Wait, I forgot.
Something like that. Off the Rails will be on my channel, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, Standard Time, Daylight Time, whatever. God dang it, whatever. I don't care anymore. Johnie, wait, there you go. No shit, whatever. Johnie, Tony, and Sienna, and then we will be live on Sienna's channel the next day, Saturday, for weird questions. Just bringing that back. So tonight we've got, first of all, hello everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining. Oh, awesome. I'm glad she got her grounding kit. I'm glad she's enjoying it. redlentalhealing.com. Just thank you everybody for joining. Thanks to all the moderators. We've got questions that are spiritual, metaphysical, looking at some general politics, and then a couple personas we want to get into because like I said, I woke up with some questions on my mind and figured why not do it via a live stream. So first thing that was on my mind when I woke up was, why is Mercury retrograde so damn disrespectful right now?
And apparently there is, I heard this
Several
on
planets
YouTube, um,
retrograde.
retrograde, and the full moon is in Cancer, is what somebody
Mm-hmm.
said.
All the emotions.
I
All of
did a
them.
reading for myself, and it told me to temper thyself. So I'm like, okay, so I need to make sure I keep in my mind that don't just pop off at the mouth and respond to somebody, because there's been a couple times in these past 15 days in here in January that I thought, what did you say? But
Yeah. There have been some days this January that I've said, you know what? I don't need this house. I don't need these student loans. I don't need this electricity. I don't need these coats, these bags, these shoes, or red lentil healing. I'm ready to go to jail tonight. So let's dig into it. What is the energy behind this retrograde? Because I posted a little joke on my Instagram that says this Mercury retrograde wears dollar store panties, and the amount of comments and personal messages I got off of that little joke was just very interesting. People are like, and this is going across, multiple zodiac signs. They're like, she's nasty wasty right now. What's going on? So just want to dig into that energy. She got me in my, and I'm not an emotional person. So for me to be in my emotions, that's uncomfortable. And it's making me want to tap into some vices.
I don't know if this is a personal read, like somebody's throwing shade at me from the other side or not, but it starts with conflict with the Five of Wands. Mind yourself is what it's trying to say. Because here with the Seven of Swords and the Knight of Cups, the false knight, or the one who just poses, doesn't actually do anything knightly. He's just a suit of armor with words behind it. There is the Seven of Swords. There's something a bit with the Knight of Cups. You can tend to maybe get the wrong impression. He's not a knight. He's Romeo. So there's not a bad card for per se, but he's not a knight in the chivalry, gallantry, fighting sort of way. But the Seven of Swords, your misunderstandings could be emotional. Maybe this person is not thievery. Maybe they just have their own plans, whatever the case may be. But there's going to be a lot of this here. And so there's a lot of emotion going around. And right now is just not the time to pop off at the mouth. Just keep it together, because this is going to have lasting effects. Retrograde does not last forever. It just feels like it. But then you have the Lovers and the Fool. Also be careful of those you meet, even though it seems like this is a good thing, a good combination. Remember, conflict is in the middle, which means the new people you are going to meet, you may meet under different circumstances to where, oh, we share the same birthday. We should be friends. Hi, how you doing? And then after retrograde, it's like, why in the world was I talking to you? Because now it turns out and you know a little bit more about them and so forth. So don't be foolish in your relationships. You still have to take stock of people, even though retrograde is here. So take a little step back and say, what is really happening and what am I reacting to?
Yep. I'm a second guess. Not second guess. See, Mercury retrograde.
English was hard. I can't do it all day.
Really dirty dollar store panties. And here's the thing: I'm not dissing. It is not a money thing, because you have to get your draws where you can get your draws from. It's just that we know, like, dollar store towels are a little bit more crunchy than
Yes.
They're like 2 thread instead of 5,000 thread count. So just kind of a little itchy. With the Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, you may want to hold off on doing some big actions right now. You may need to just kind of sit tight and hold tight for just a minute. Be calculated when you do things. This is the whole energy behind retrograde, though, is, the technologicals and all that. Don't sign contracts and hold out and try not to have surgeries. Well, this is evident and apparent right now. Hold on before you do any kind of action as much as you can, because there's a lot of emotion behind it with the Two of Cups. Like Johnie was saying, you may meet the person. I don't know why he put away, but
because I keep the camera out.
Like,
where'd it go?
one of us goes away is because the other one has said something ignorant and we're trying to get back to it. Okay.
And then I get notification. Skype is using your camera. No, it better not be.
It better not be. Turn her
Very
off
good.
This
Retrograde. we talking bad about it. Here she come again.
Here she comes.
Hey, Kate.
Whew, you were just super emotional. And I get the Two of Cups too, not over between two people, but almost between you and yourself, the yin and the yang, the shadow and the ego. Just listen, I have had thoughts that I have not had in years during this retrograde. It's very uncharacteristic of me. So I can't imagine those who are actually Aquarius, those who actually have the Plutos and the Mercuries and whatever in their astrological sign right now. It impacts all of it. So just take a deep breath. Don't get super emotional. Here's the hard part too. These all look not the most pleasant because you got the Ten of Swords, the Tower, and the Eight of Swords. And then flanked by the King of Cups. I'm gonna try to spin this. How can I spin this and make this positive? Okay. You're gonna come through this a different person for the Ten of Swords. Something you needed to shed is going to shed. And that's okay. Let it go. Embrace it. Embrace the change that's coming. Because if you don't, coming out of this retrograde, you're going to be stuck in a bad place. What it's trying to do is this retrograde is trying to shake up some mental blocks that you had that you need to get rid of. That is kind of the whole point of that. It appears like it's going backwards. You're going to have an opportunity to take a look at your life and what's going on right now. Does it work? Does it not work? Allow the Tower to break things up. Remember, the Tower crumbles from the top down, not the bottom up, which means your foundation is still going to be strong once whatever you needed to get rid of is gone through. And embrace the emotions, the King of Cups. Let them come in. Feel the feels and empower them and make the change you need to make. Ooh, was that? There you go. I made that positive.
Mm-hmm.
Ish. Mm-hmm. Why is it so challenging though? It told us what's going on, but can it tell us why? Can we get into why this one is? I mean, they're normally nasty, but what is it about? What energy is this one holding that's making it so emotionally challenging? She's nasty. It's so dangerous. That's what I keep hearing.
What was so interesting? Right before you said that, you said nasty, and I thought, and not in a Janet Jackson kind of way. Why it's so challenging? Oh, that's interesting.
I know.
The Ace of Cups and the High Priestess. There's a build-up, and there's also a hidden. This is emotional. This is new emotions, new people, new things to go through. The High Priestess, just like Adrian said, what is in you with that Two of Cups that she had? What is in you that maybe you're fighting? This has been probably a long time coming, and now we're at the peak where the bottle top is about to pop off type of thing. So what is it that is overflowing? What is it that you have been hiding? Or what kind of messages are you going to be receiving? The Ace of Cups is also a spirituality thing, which kind of goes here. The lovers are actually facing the angel in this card and not the other way around. So maybe there's some divinity that you need to pay attention to, and maybe sometimes the only way spirit can get you to pay attention is to bring a little mayhem, because now you are forced to stop and forced to seek answers. But I still get these emotions have been Seven of Pentacles. They've been a long time coming. And now it feels like maybe it's It's not a surprise if you really think about it, because if you look back, there's something you were not dealing with, something you were not upfront about, and it's causing a little torment. So this is something that Venus is in retrograde too. Oh, good God. So
it's a whole bunch.
we are having some emotional things that we need to be dealing with that we haven't been.
Yeah.
And so they're now being forced in your face. Just like me and my don't pop off at the mouth just because you can. It's not necessary.
Because there is a cycle that needs to be complete that involves our community, and it has been really messed up for a long time. So with the world card completion cycle, the Four of Wands with kind of this community, this thing, this house, this nurture, this nature, and the Five of Pentacles, it is shake it because it like basically it hits too close to home. There are things that needed to be shifted pretty deeply that are very close to all of us. I don't remember because I'm not Lauren what Venus and Mercury. I think Venus does the whole emotions thing too, and home and depending on where in your chart it lies, it can be in that house that does. Okay, Lauren can explain it better. It needs to be broken up. It has to be broken up because really at the end of the day, it actually wasn't going well for quite some time anyway. We just told ourselves it was. We've told ourselves, I can just deal with it. I've got to go through it and it's got to break up. That's why it's really so challenging. And we need to go through a rebirth. We got to get into that deep root chakra. We got to come out of this because actually the things that were holding us down, we didn't realize it was also preventing us from actually having true joy with our heart chakra. It seems painful now, but really once we address it and come through this and have this rebirth, it's almost gonna be like I didn't realize actually how much that was holding me down. Whether it be a relationship, whether it be a way of thinking, whether it be even a process that you were doing for so long, it needed to be broken up for your highest good, for our highest good. Woo, what can we do to fight through it? If we can give like 2 words of advice from spirit, or 3, or 5, or 19, or one quick phrase. How can we get through it? Hello to all 180 of you guys who are here tonight on this very chilly Saturday. I went back to the grocery store.
You know, there's a game that I play that, you know, you got armor or you can wear clothes in the game if you want. If you choose to wear nothing, they walk around with looks like a little towel on their waist or something. And if you walk past a person, they say to you, it's going to get cold tonight. You might want to cover your delicates. At least.
I wonder if he'll ever make that mistake again, or if you think he learned from it. No,
because maybe he doesn't think those combination of those 2 things is what led to this. It's like because you shouldn't have put those on together in the first place.
Okay, y'all, listen. And you know what? I'm noticing the theme, and I noticed the theme as I was walking to my car. Most of the funny crap that happens to me happens at Aldi. Not because Aldi is nothing about the establishment of Aldi. It's because that's usually when I do leave the house, one of the only places I go. So it says more
it's
about
convergence of a lot of people too, a lot of different types of people.
So, because you've got this lady who she got into some kind of fancy Rolls Royce. This I didn't even know it was a Rolls Royce until because I was like, that car is really fancy. Shopping at Aldi, and then you've got people like me who are Joe Blow, right? Because it's just whatever. So I'm in Aldi. I'm leaving the store. I'm walking through the checkout behind, that part where you can go bag your groceries and there's checkout. And this man has on gray sweatpants and boxer shorts. That's going to play an important factor in just a second. He's going and he's taking the water off of the thing and he's going to try to lift it and put it, into the shopping cart. He initially went and tried to lift with his back and not with his legs, and that caught him. He was like, oh. And so he tried to adjust and go back and bend with his knees. But when he bent with his knees while holding the case of water, both his gray sweatpants and his boxer shorts slid down behind his kneecaps. And basically, I got moved at the grocery store. So, but it did. The stance that he was in, because he wasn't like completely just bent at the waist, there was a gap in it. So it wasn't just I got mooned. The cheeks and everything were kind of spread too. So it was a little bit more. But so without missing a beat, I'm like, because it was just funny. It was because at the grocery store, and I'm immature, and I thought that mess was funny. So I start laughing, not at him, at the situation, because I'm like, oh, that's too funny. Oh, I just got mooned. That's what okay. But the lady behind me was mortified. I was like, oh, and so that caused a bunch of swirl and people to look. And his wife is screaming at him. And I don't know if he was just like frozen from fear, because he just was with the water for quite a minute before he, but basically, okay, by the time I stood and laughed, looked at the lady behind me and was like, shh, at his butt and dingleberries, and proceeded to walk out of the store and out into the parking lot. He was still hunched over.
He got cryo froze.
I think he stunned himself. Like, oh God. His wife was so pissed. She was just like airing him out. And I'm just like, it happens. Mistakes happen. Things happen. I just feel so bad because it was cold in that store. It's cold. It is 16 degrees. I know his oh my God, his whole spirit and life were just I got mooned, and I'm pretty sure this is what I get because I've done something very disrespectful, and this was my karma. I know this was my karma.
Oh Lord. Okay.
What advice could I have given that man through spirit to let him know that Mercury was in retrograde and things were going to get
Okay. So I get the Lovers and the Seven of Pentacles.
I had 7 Pentacles too. That's the first card I just pulled up.
Me, it's I can't even focus. Jesus, focus again. I'm like, I don't know what these cards mean.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, 2 hours ago, I was teaching a tarot class, and I have no idea what this means. Okay.
Here's the other thing. So yes, Jean, tie the drawstring, or if you're going to wear very saggy, any kind of material, wear good supporting undergarments underneath. I think it was definitely the combination because his pants were gonna fall down. They were baggy sweatpants, but had he worn a boxer brief, even some mantees, something with elastic would have kept that situation from getting worse.
Boxer shorts are too slick, so they're going to come right off. And so
they did. Yeah. All right. Yeah. At least he was clean. And there was no
oh, that'd have been worse. Oh, good Lord. Assess. That was the answer I actually got beforehand, which makes sense to why I see it here. Again, the Lover's card is facing the angel instead of the other way, so there is some paying attention To guidance in your relationships. Remember, the lovers is in the Garden of Eden. They had choice to make, and they got thrown out because of a bad choice. So now is the time to pay attention. Now is the time to assess. So whatever it is, this is actually a little peak of frustration too, because I have been getting in my readings, like there's a message coming in, there's a divine message coming in. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to get the message? And I get the hermit. So you need to be quiet, be still, go within. So I'm like, okay, I took time aside to sit there and do that. And then I heard nothing. And I'm like, okay, quit playing with me right now. And maybe taking the time was the point. Maybe taking the step aside was the point. Maybe it was the first step. Because remember, the Seven of Pentacles is planting a seed. You don't get the immediate harvest. Sometimes it comes later on, something in due time. And so you do need to pay attention because some changes are happening, some transitions are happening, but assess. Again, when you're in a situation, what is actually happening versus what am I reacting to? So that is what I say is being taught here.
Yeah. You need to make some plans. Or the plans, continue to make more plans. The plans that you made, that you're trying to come into fruition, that you're waiting to come in, you're waiting for that chip to come in, 3 of Wands, they're actually being a little halted. There's a little bit more work you need to do, like Johnie said, with the Seven of Pentacles. You need to plant a few more seeds. While you're waiting for the ship to come in, there's a few more things you need to plant. I would say you also have the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, 2 negative cards that not the greatest cards that follow it. And the message I'm hearing is plan now so you're not jacked over later. That can even be emotional. That could be spiritual. That could be financial. That could be a bunch of different things. But that what it's doing is making you take stock of what you thought you had planned, what we thought we had in place. May need a bit more fine tuning with the 3 of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles. You also, too, that's your warning because you don't want to be out in the cold. Here's the other thing you need to do, too, is you need to change your perspective. I always say with the 5 of Cups, it's about changing your perspective. Not all is lost. You still got 2 cups standing up right behind you, but you cannot focus on that for the spilled milk. It's not as bad as it seems. Therefore, continue to plan ahead. Continue to try to be one step ahead of whatever you think you've got going on, because what Mercury Retrograde is telling you is that you actually are not in control of everything like you think you are. Surrender a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's okay. One last retrograde question, especially since I keep getting the most piss poor cards in the damn tarot deck. So let's keep with that. What do we? So we need to know we know what we got, how to get through it, plan ahead. What do we need to avoid so we can continue to get through it? I love this deck. You purchased this for me.
Oh, I like that one too.
Shuffle is just like a dream.
I mean, of course I do. It's shiny. Why would
Oh. That's a good point, Jeanette. Nor do we need to be in control of everything. I got the rudest awakening at work this week that has put me in my whole feels. That just it is just another reminder. You're not in control, and you don't need to be in control all the time. What do we need to avoid, Dr. Apprentice?
Don't get the giggles while you're trying to open a can of cashews. I completely agree. Yes. I actually heard it before I pulled it, so maybe there is something to that, me stepping aside and receiving messages, because this has been happening a lot actually lately. I've been getting the answer to the question before I pull the cards. And it used to happen a lot back in the day. And then I sort of use this as my crutch, and now I don't get that, but now I do again. Reactions, just like I said, what do we need to get here is the Knight of Swords is a reaction card. Yeah. This is the person that dashes out the door with no plan because they heard go. They didn't heard go left, go right. They just heard go, and they flew out the door. So with the Knight of Swords, temper your reactions. The Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is mastery, but this is a person who masters over time. This is a thing that you do day in, day out, making a pentacle every day. The way you get it down, the way you are now the master of what it is to do to make a pentacle. Five of Cups, page ones. Be careful what you're saying. Be careful of the way you say it, because some people will only look at what is spilled and what is instead of what is not. So some people may pick out a message or pick out a word out of what you just said and then take that. And then instead of the whole message, all they focused on was that one little kernel of something that had nothing to do in the whole context of something. So just before you react, assess your situation. Is what am I reacting to versus what is actually happening? Because this is going to come up all the way until what, February 4th when it's over or some mess like that.
Because I was like, this one's short. I can get through this one. And then the week before, I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to make it. I remember texting me. I was like, Johnny, I ain't going to make it through this one, my dude. I'm not going to make it. If this is all, and it hadn't even technically started yet. So I'm not going to make it.
I always get it before.
Oof, geez.
Always.
The Magician. I was going to say, avoid shiesty lawyers, but that's, you know. The person who tries, this is so funny because it's not the Emperor, but that's still the energy I'm getting. Tax season's coming up too. So be careful trying to finagle master legal government documents right now. That is something you just really kind of want to stay away from. Trust me, that little 2 pennies you're trying to skim off the top is going to be 1,800 pennies later. Just be careful of your resources. Make sure that you've got the full picture, the full everything you need with the Hierophant and the Magician. Knight of Cups and Six of Swords. Don't say no slick shit, then walk thinking you can walk away.
I mean,
wow, I had no control over my throat chakra. That just came out. Okay. But really, don't make any false promises. Don't start saying a whole bunch of stuff, empty promises, and then thinking you can, and then trying to skirt away, walk away, and think that you're going to be able to take the high road. That's going to come back to bite you in the butt, because while you're walking away, there's still some things that are going to continue to move forward. It's going to come back to bite you in the behind, and with the Nine of Wands, cause a lot of consternation too. So just don't say no slick shit and then think you're going to be able to walk away. You know, it's just not going to, Do we want to go into metaphysical next? Personas. My one little litigation nation question. Which we want to do? You want to keep on?
Follow your lead.
Oh, God dang it. Okay, so then we'll go in order. Metaphysical. Okay, I wasn't high when I came up with these questions. This is just how my brain functions. So I was in my meditationals, and I said, you know, I wonder if the Buddha. And I just started going through a lot of the spiritual gods and leaders and deities. And I was just like, I wonder if the Buddha could give us a message right now. What would that message be? If he could just look at all of us and be like, you crusty humans. Would it be, you know, meditate more, breathe more, you know? What would he say? As a man who isolated in a cave for a very long time and did not eat or drink, what would he say to us?
Focus on your words. Remember, they do have more power than the sword. For words create, words destroy, words bond, words bind. The Page of Wands. There is messages that are to be brought. There are messages that are to be understood. There are messages that are to be misunderstood. with the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Swords. The Queen of Swords and the 3 of Pentacles. There is mastery for those words, though. There are messages that can be delivered to the right person at the right time. But if it is misunderstood, do not misunderstand. Understand that this is an emotional reaction and not something they are doing towards you. So focus on the messages, focus on the words. Again, they have more power than the sword.
Thank you, Tawana, for the super chats. May that generosity be returned to you immediately in tenfold. The Buddha actually almost would tell us to go do what he did, which is go sit in a cave for a very long time. But he knows that we are impatient. With the, I have the 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, and 7 of Wands, and the Magician. What he's telling us is that life is a marathon and not a sprint. You have to hold on to what is your mental capacity. You have to hold on to your spiritual capacity by any means necessary. And that we are way more magical and resourceful than we think we are with the Magician. Everything we need to persevere, everything we need to continue to fight, to continue to go through this thing called life, we already have. We just have to persevere and keep pushing. We've got it. It's going to take a while. You're not going to always get what you think you want right there. You got to plant the seeds with the 7 of Pentacles. You got to hold on to your beliefs with the 4 of Pentacles. Hold on to something. If you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. Persevere. You can do it. You can do all of these things because we all are the Magician. That's why it's the second daggum card in the tarot. Second, right? Lower, yeah. See, I read tarot too, Johnie, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So let's look at another, some would say the ultimate spiritual. What would God say if he could give us a message right now? And I'm literally calling God as in those who follow the faith of Christianity. Or whatever religion that puts God as the supreme ruler. What would he say? These questions really do sound like I was high when I came up with them.
I mean, this message theme of the night. Temper thyself. This could just be talking to me, but temper thyself. But know that you are secure. For whatever is about to happen over the next 2 weeks, you're still secure. As I said to a person a long time ago, and they did not take such a thing well, but I said it anyway, and I said it again just to repeat it. I said, because they were talking about some situation that was just horrible. I said, did you die? And they said, no. I said, well, then you survived. And if you did die, then problem over. But if you survived, you will be secure. You will get over this. You will get through this. There is healing with temperance, but temperance is also a process. This is healing with effort. So yes, you will be secure, but the 7 of Pentacles, effort. Harvest does not harvest itself. So there is effort. You have to plant, you have to water, there's time, and then you have to come back and reap the harvest. So it takes time, it takes effort. Things will be all right. Let me say one more thing too.
Go ahead.
There is this notion, I know when I was heavily involved in the church, that all you have to do is pray and that's your magic wand. Mm-hmm. And I would always say, God is not your genie nor your assistant. Things are not always magically going to happen. You need to put in effort. That's what the temperance is saying. Temperance is healing after like addictions or problems with relationships. So there's effort that has to be put into that. A person who goes through, if you were addicted to alcohol, Okay, now that you're sober, that doesn't mean all the alcohol disappeared from the earth. So you still have an effort to put forth. It's just like temperance. So when you are going through something, it's not always, oh, the devil's alive and well, and oh, things are no. Sometimes it's just life. And sometimes you have to put a little extra effort into life to make it okay. It's not God's responsibility to do everything for you.
He gave you action and free will for a whole cat snatching reason.
Mm-hmm.
If you were made in his image, he did a whole bunch of stuff. So why can't you do it too?
Use your brain first. That's why it's at the top of your body instead of the bottom.
Thank you, me, myself, and I for the super chat. May that generosity be returned to you tenfold immediately. That's going to be my new dance. I mean, that generosity you tenfold immediately. Okay. Tower 8 of Swords and the 5 of Swords.
Just pull the devil too.
Hold on. Is he at the bottom? No, he's not. Thank goodness. But wait. Hold on. Mercury retrograde. That technically was not the bottom card of the deck. Okay, no, it wasn't. Okay, so you have this perception that everything bad that's happening, it's a mental trap. All of this, this is a mental trap of your creating. This, oh my God, the world, everything bad, the world's coming to an end. There's so much greed and selfishness with the 5 of Swords. You notice how this card is in the center. This is because these two things don't exist unless you give it the power to exist. With the 8 of Swords, you can take off that blindfold and walk right out of that hole that's there, but you've chosen not to. He wants you to see that this is your perception of the world is really kind of what's in your head. That's a perception. It's not reality. It's not. I'm literally getting the world as the world, not necessarily completion. And Empress, he created this place. Literally is, again, talking as God. This is his creation. He did not create a bad place. We, as humans, have either made it bad or internalized it to be bad. He didn't. This is not the world he created. So basically, with all of these together, this isn't the world he created. This is your perception. Mm-hmm. So what can you do? What should you do to change your perception of that? That's not at all what I thought I was going to get. I'm quite surprised. Go ahead.
It is needed advice, though.
It's needed advice. So, backstory. I was watching a YouTube, and it was one of those, and I was watching it on my TV. So I was like, watching a video, then another video came on, then another video came on. And it was an argument between an atheist and a believer. Now, she claims she's atheist, but really, listening to her, I think she's more agnostic than atheist. But she claims she's just atheist, so I'm going to give her that. And they were kind of doing a good tit for tat. Why do you believe? Why do you not believe? Give me the proof. Give me not the proof. And it was quite interesting. So I was really sitting there thinking, what is it actually that makes the atheist cringe? Is it that it is the belief that somebody believes that some one thing created all of this? Or is it something more? Is it something else? So I just want to I don't know, because she was she was firm and heated. So I was like, it's interesting in noting, I've had several conversations with atheists before, and there's something that the longer the conversation goes, there's kind of this, and it's like a little knuck if you buck kind of situation. I'm like, what is it that's making you cringe? Is it you think that people who believe are dumb? Is it a lack of, or is it you've just not had that personal connection with that the same way that believers do? I don't know. I just thought it was very, very interesting.
All through school, all of my friends were atheists. Mm-hmm. All through school. All of them. That seems to be the crowd I attracted, I guess. But they were all atheists, and most of them, actually, no, because we didn't really talk about religion that much, but they know I was Christian at the time. But most of them were just, they didn't understand the God concept is what they were atheists for. It's like, I don't get the whole old man in the sky thing. And so that's more of a problem with Christian philosophy, I think, when you really break it down. Because that's how they described it. That's how God is the Father and in the sky, on the throne, and in heaven, and all that. Some people, especially when you get into the pagans and the other things, he's a consciousness. And some other people think, oh, it's an actual thing. And so it's, but I get the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. I think it's the thought, the fanciful thought. The Nine of Cups, the wishful thinking, the pie in the sky type thing. And then the Knight of Pentacles, this is the methodical person. This is the person who wants things to make sense before they act. And so you have, on one hand, you have the fancy thoughts, and the other hand, you have the more grounded, reliable thoughts. So I can't take your belief and put it in reality, because you believe in something I can't see. And then you get on the other side, and then there is air. You can't see it, but you can experience it just the same way as you sort of experience your spirituality. So that fight will always go, but I think the lack thereof of a presence with the Five of Pentacles, but then you have the Death card here, the change, not only change, but actual death, to where people in the metaphysical world say that they can speak to people on the other side. And so, again, there's a lack of hardcore evidence, and then there on the other side is a abundance of evidence if you choose to see it that way. So I think it's a sort of a grounding thing. Like, I can't put your belief in my reality.
I'm getting, it doesn't make dollars, so it doesn't make sense. With the Ten of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, it's just illogical. It doesn't make dollars. It doesn't make sense to them. It also is, they view that we are not thinking with logic, and we're thinking with emotion. With the Queen, notice their queens supporting too, not the kings. They're supportive with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. Again, this is more emotional than it is based on logic theory. They also feel that we're Christians, or anybody who believes in God and a higher power, is being led astray and now just walking aimlessly in life. With the Seven of Swords and the Fool, you're putting a belief in something that does, like Johnie said, doesn't exist in their mind. Because again, it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make logical sense with these Queen of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. So you're incapable of doing this, so therefore you're doing this. You're being led astray.
And I will say, I have never had a religious-based argument with an atheist ever. I've had even conversations about it, about religion and God and all that, but never had an argument. Like, nobody has ever tried to convince me God didn't exist, because I wasn't trying to convince them that he did. Only arguments about religion I've ever had is with religious people. And there's always been Christians or Muslims in my life. And so the Christian person, the last one I told y'all about when I was in Florida, I had a cross on. He said, "Is that your belief, or is that for jewelry or for fashion," or whatever he said? I said, "It's for fashion because my mother bought it and I'm wearing it. I like jewelry, just like the Ankhs. They do have a symbol, but I just like the way they look. Like the crystals, they have a thing that they do. I don't wear onyx because I'm trying to reflect bad energy. I just like it because it's shiny and black." So, but I always have the argument with religious people. He tried to convince me God is real, and at the same time, I said, "Yeah, I agree." But he wanted me to believe he's real the way he believes it, that God created me specifically. I'm like, no, my parents did. And if I have to teach you, who's older than me, about the birds and the bees, we have a whole different conversation we need to have. So only religious arguments I've ever had is with Christians and Muslims.
Also, let's keep with that, because my next question is, what makes the believer tick or cringe? So I talked about how the atheist responded. The believer, who was almost, I would put her evangelical. Her sect of Christianity is very, I would say evangelical. She was passionate and heated, which caused the atheist to react also. So it was just this very interesting tangled web. So I said, okay, well then what makes the believer cringe and take it? Because we, like Johnie said, people who don't believe in the way that they believe, or what's behind that? Or is it actually something within them? And it's a shadow that they have yet to address. Something that with their faith.
I like that question.
It was a very, very interesting, and it was like 3 minutes. And I was like, oh, I just got a jolt in these 3 minutes watching these people debate. It wasn't a debate. I actually thought if it wasn't recorded, one of them was going to slap the other one. But that's
yeah.
it's a lot of pinnacle cards I'm getting. A lot of pinnacles for something that's supposed to be faith. Another pinnacle card, faith-based. All right, what you got?
I got the Three of Cups. It starts with community, but again, we are on the same page doing the same thing. I always, though, with this Three of Cups, it's a card of celebration. There's nothing really negative about the Three of Cups. But it always sort of draws my eye that one person in the group is still trying to stand taller than the other ones. Even though this is a cause for celebration, here, let my cup be the highest. You can believe what you want to believe as long as it matches with mine. And so the High Priestess and the Knight of Pentacles, whatever this divine knowledge is, it needs to have a foundation in what I believe. Because the High Priestess, interestingly enough, is 3 different religions on one card. This is Egyptian. Her crown is the crown of Hathor. She holds the Torah, which is Judaism, is it not?
Yes.
And then she has a cross on her chest in the original depiction, which is Christianity. She's modeled after Mother Mary, which they do contribute to Catholicism, even though Mother Mary is just Mother Mary. But she's modeled after Mother Mary. So she is an amalgamation of religion. But you have to believe the one I want you to, because that is the way we do this. So it feels like a personal attack when a person is saying God doesn't exist, or God is actually this, or even God is a woman. People take that into whatever, even though if you wanted to think about that, it would sound a little more true, because man in his image, everybody starts off their life as female. So that's a whole nother thing. But so it's like you can believe what you want, but you have to believe like I want you to. And I take it as a personal offense, a personal attack, if you don't believe the way I want you to.
I'm going to try to put this, I'm going to try to say this simplistically. A change of perspective. When I cannot change your perspective, I feel like I have been sacrificed. Double meaning in this card. Here's what's so interesting. The rest, with the exception of the Empress, giving birth to something, creating something new, for all Pentacle cards. 5 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. And instead of trying to read each one and try to put it into context, Spirit said, stop, because you're too dumb to do that. No offense. My guys know me. They can call me dumb. They said, here's the big picture. There's been an investment made into their belief, whether it be financial or emotional or spiritual. There's an investment that's been made. All of these Pentacle cards are showing a huge investment made into this belief. And I've put all of this investment into believing, to practicing, to being what my doctrine tells me. Why can't you do the same thing? Why shouldn't you do the same thing? If I can do it, then you should do it as well. And when you're unwilling to make that what they believe is a sacrifice to walk with God, to repent sins and to be born again, then that's when that's an issue, because that is the belief of how you transcend to the highest state. That becomes very personal. An investment is made.
Because that was me at one point, to where I didn't get upset at my atheist friends because they did not believe, but I could not understand why they did not believe. Mm-hmm. Because it was so easy to believe in this, because where did you think the world came from and who made the plants and the I went through that whole thing. But at the same time, when I started to read tarot years and years later, I made total sense why you wouldn't believe. Because where's the evidence? Where's the picture in front of you showing you this is how God created plants and man and this? Like, where's the God? Where's the heaven? Where's the? I look up in space, it's just blackened stars. Mm-hmm. So I get the evidence in front of you doesn't match up, so it's easy to believe.
And I can get. I have my whatever portion of your life, whether it's you were born into it, my whole life, or you've had a major change and you've gone into that causes you to adopt a religious belief, that now becomes an investment. I believe in this. When you take away something somebody believes, that's an investment. Because what you have to do is take that now becomes, I'm taking away a part of that self. Then what do I do? So I can see it. We're about to switch hella gears, no pun intended. Major gears, and start getting into some of the politicals. This is why I believe there is something sometimes, some type of higher spiritual power, because that came through and said, I'm about to make Navient repent and forgive $1.5 billion in student loans. I'm telling you, my God is alive. My God is alive. Now, unfortunately, I am not part of that $1.5 billion settlement, because they went after particular institutions, because they said the institutions themselves were part of the bad borrowing practices. So I want to know, and there are a lot of schools on that list. I had to scroll it 3 times to make sure that neither my undergrad, first master's, or second master's was not on that list, and I was quite disappointed. However, though, it gives me hope. I'm wondering, they weren't expected to win this lawsuit, and they did. So I want to know what's next. Is there going to be more to come? Is Navient going to pay this out? What's going to happen? What's more to come? Because looking at the list of schools, my school, either one of my schools could have easily been on that list. Not really truly explain to students what this means to take out this loan, and having the student take out, your financial aid officer taking out way more loans than you need. So what's next? Navient's a thug. I'm sorry. I'm glad they got their behinds. Dude. I would make my payment early and they would still call me, Miss Coleman, you owe. I paid you. Really? I'm already eating ramen noodles. What you want?
Right?
Shit.
Blood from a stone, man.
I'm telling you. This is interesting.
So I think this goes deeper, because there's a lot of surprise messaging or surprise information, surprises for leadership with the Page of Cups and the King of Swords, especially King of Swords. King of Swords for me is leadership in academics. So this would be some sort of teacher or thing of that nature, something that deals with the brain. And then you have the eight. I keep saying that. The 8 of strengths. You have the strength card, which is number 8. you have the Strength and the Eight of Wands. So there's strong messaging. So there's strong messaging that was once manipulated or covered up, or just say it that way, or whatever it was changed somehow. And that King of Swords is now about to bring up a lot more information. The Wheel of Fortune in the World, this is not over. The World indicates completion. The Wheel of Fortune is an ongoing thing. It's time. It keeps going. There's no ending to time. Even if you die, there's still something else that's going on for you. And then the Three of Pentacles. This would be your loans and things of that nature, or somebody here that was in an official capacity that you went to for financing or went to for some sort of thing, something you needed to buy, something you needed to get, some work you needed done. There is possibly a lot of people that are going to be let go or move away from this in particular industry or this company. But there's a lot of imbalance still. This means this is still up in the air. This is not over. The Five of Swords, the bully, the person who's taking advantage, doing the wrong thing at the wrong time for the wrong reason. And so this is going to keep going. This is not stopped. I feel, even though this is professors or institutions that have to do with academics or something, I feel like there's a person that is going to be, I don't know if there's the sacrificial lamb or what, but I feel like there's one single person, or maybe two men, that are coming forth to be called to the carpet here. But that's what I get.
I get, in a roundabout way, I get the same thing. It's just not telling me what the outcome is going to be. This, what it's basically only telling me is this is just the beginning. Seven of Pentacles. This seed has literally been planted right now with this lawsuit. The challenge actually is the moon. We don't know what's going to come next. There's still something lurking behind. Like Johnie said, there's something that has not been unearthed yet. What's so, and this is, even when I take the personal out of it, person who has way too many degrees working on another one and will never be able to pay them back, and borrow the bare minimum just to get the education, pays on time. It's still, there's something, and this is what makes me sick. There's something nefarious. And the fact that it was to get the job I had to get the degrees. There was no one or the other. It felt unfair. And now I feel like I'm penalized for the rest of my life. We built this American dream, go to college, get this 9 to 5, but somewhere has let somebody down. And it shows it's nefarious. There's something shady of the way at the crown with the Seven of Swords, in the conflict with the Five of Wands. We created this mess as a society. Go get a degree, go do this. But newsflash, Page of Wands, we're not going to help you. Now what? Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor in the environment. So yes, there is somebody, I think, Johnie too, who's either an overseer or somebody who's going to have to take the hit. I don't know who is it. Maybe like the head of the Department of Education. Somebody's going to take a hit. The Lovers is in the word of warning. The outcome, though, is the Page of Pentacles. I did some clarifying. 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, and Knight of Swords. There's more to come. There's too many ways this can go. I don't, especially with the 10 of Pentacles, I initially heard more lawsuits, more money to be paid out. 1.5 billion with a B is a lot of money. And I think there's more. So this is just the beginning.
But so what's extra sad? You need, 9 degrees to be an entry level job, but you can have none and be the president of the United States.
I'm trying to figure out, looking at, especially living in the 4th most expensive city in the United States, when you look at some of these job recs, I mean, master's degree, PhD required, but only paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 when the average home up here is $800,000, and that's for a small condo. Make it make sense. And it was like that in every city I've lived in. You need to have this. I'm telling you, I didn't go and get these degrees because I necessarily wanted to. I wanted to feed myself. I wanted to get a job. My bachelor's degree, unfortunately, very sadly, wasn't enough at the time that I graduated. So I wonder who that's going to be. Who this sacrificial lamb is going to be.
It feels it because it reminded me, not Enron. What is the people in with the water crisis in what you call it?
The BP guy?
No, it's Flint, Michigan, the Flint water thing, to where it was a bigger thing, but they picked some people out in order to persecute. That's what it felt like.
Okay. Get Betsy again because she still ain't forgiving those loans that her family.
She need a good old Nancy Kerrigan situation. Somebody just run up behind her and pop. Yes.
We've got 2 more questions left. Stuart Rhodes.
Speaking of college, I read he went to Yale.
Here's the thing, though. Didn't Bush go to Yale or Harvard?
No indictment upon Yale, but
nothing. Which is more of the you can buy your way into it legacy. So did Henry Louis Gates. No, he went to Princeton or Harvard. So never mind. So, just saying. Stuart Rhodes. I want to look at his energy and see what's next. And I particularly wrote what makes him a jackass. So I need to take the judgment out. Just what's next?
But at the same time, he is in a country that he is in a group that is anti-government. So go to another country. So there is some jackassish behavior there. But anyway, what was the first one though to look at?
Stuart Rhodes. What's his energy? I'm gonna look at his deficient ass chakras and his personality type.
I'm gonna do an oracle. I'm gonna do a tarot in the
okay. He did. And I was reading too. Oh my God, he worked for his dad. And there's something else that made it creepy. Like there's another creepster connection that he has to it's not DeSantis, it's somebody like that. It was like DeSantis's mammy was like taught him how to like shoot dice. It was something weird and creepy. Same time. Sedition edition Stuart Rhodes. What is his energy? Elmer Rose. Y'all got jokes tonight. I love you all so much.
Let's see. Yeah.
I don't know why I care what order these are in. Okay.
Yeah. So the King of Swords in this in particular case is a bit, what's a word? He thinks he's in charge, but he's not. There's a overconfidence, bravado. There is something there that's just no. He's not just. But he is, what is telling me though here, he is completely cut off from his spirituality. Like I'd get zero connection. Mm-hmm. It's, I don't know how, don't know why, don't know what, but there's something that is completely cut him off from his spirituality. Now, as I've said before, spirit never leaves you, you leave it. That's the free yourself from pain. There also might be a bit of medicinal things too that are going on in his brain with the actual function of his brain. Yes, so there's like a health thing that something is wrong in his actual brain, and I get to regenerate the body too. So something in his physical is very wrong. But he is kind of dead on the inside too, spiritually speaking. Discover your sparkle. There is bringing something back, but I think his flow, his brain, his something is messed up there in his logicals and his spirituals. So physically and spiritually, I think he is dead on the inside.
Which is so funny because his persona is the athlete
Mm.
who uses their physical body and the shadow attribute to push themselves and their beliefs onto others. Very selfish. And they do it because there's a false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. I am it, which is that not him in a nutshell? Is that not him in a nutshell? It is wild, grounding, holistic health. Man cannot connect to anything, like you said, and he may actually abuse some medicinals to cope with that. Inner strength, solar plexus chakra. I mean, do I even see more? This is the key. This man cannot forgive. There is something that has happened to him in the wounded child. Instead of transcending and transmuting. I just heard that in Jody's voice. Hi, Jody. Still watching. He has chosen victimhood. He cannot forgive. And that is why, instead of the light attribute of the athlete being able to take his prowess and push limits and go the distance, he just becomes a selfish little child who stomps and whines and does everything he does is for his own benefit. That is his victim frequency. Throat chakra cannot speak truth and listen to divine truth, which is so interesting. Is life purpose and listening. He cannot listen, or he's very selective in his listening. And he feels that this is anti-government is his life purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do. And that is like, spirit's like, no, it's not. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Being a tyrant is not, and supporting tyranny is not a positive. It's not needed here. Maybe if you were in Venezuela, when they were having the crux of the issues with their tyrannical government, maybe you should be there to help push against, but not here in America. It's not needed. So maybe right body, wrong place. I don't know. And then, like Johnie said, cannot connect spirit, its peace with the crown chakra, just incapable.
Not a peaceful person.
No.
He wants chaos. He's got more ammunition than little third world countries. So,
So the follow-up to that is what's next for him?
Oh boy.
I mean, you charged, my dude. That's a remember, and I don't remember which live stream we said this on, but we said they're going to go for the heavies later. They're going to get the small fish out of the way first. We're just going to start seeing the heavies get lined up. So
here we are.
Oh, his estranged wife called him a sociopath. I mean, surprise, surprise.
Mind you, he is one of the first to be charged with sedition. All the rest of them got trespassing charges.
Yep. And I think there's going to be some more sedition fruition.
Mm-hmm. Because they actually had a plot for government overthrow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. The swords in these cards just have such a connotation. The Hierophant in the Eight of Pentacles. This is going to go on for a little bit. Here in the government, there is some steady work that needs to be done. Mind you, the FBI been looking at him. They just have enough for a case now. This is why we keep saying patience. Justice kind of moves slow sometimes, for us anyway. It moves in its time. It does what it's supposed to do. You can't just see them on TV and then charge them with something. You need a background, you need a case to build. So there is still some work that is being done. So this is not over. This is definitely just beginning. The Wheel of Fortune, your good luck and your fortune meet the Nine of Swords. So we have some stress and some worry because our good luck has run out. Now, mind you, this Wheel of Fortune is your life. This is the things that your decisions. The Wheel of Fortune on its original depiction has a snake on it. That's Typhoon. That's the person who tried to overthrow God and was defeated. So there are lessons in life. The Wheel of Fortune is saying you're going to learn throughout. There's also a Sphinx at the top. The Sphinx is about riddles. It's about communications. It's blue, again, throat chakra. So he has a lot that he needs to learn. And so what he is about to be going through right now is a lot of pain, but he brought it on himself. I said all that to say that. So his fortune is out. The Seven of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. The evidence is mounting up for what you did, your scheme, your scam, and your Six of Pentacles. There's also a financial aspect to this. Money that, because I wanted to know, where did you get the money for all those weapons? What did you do for it?
Sharing of karma, Six of Pentacles. It was grift. They were sharing. That's in my word of warning.
Six of Pentacles. That's what I got. The where did money come from? So that's why this is just beginning. They may have got enough of a case to bring something against him, but now they have enough case to use to break him. That way you can give up whoever else out there in the world we need to be finding.
And boy, is that strong with the strength. That's how it starts off for me. And he's got his word of warning, Five of Cups, bro. Yeah. you looking at the long haul. There's still something. You could save yourself. There's still some cups behind you. You can maybe make it not as painful. But yeah, you looking at the long haul, boss. Rightfully so. You screwed yourself. It's coming to light that he's not in a good place with the Sun and the Three of Swords. I think it's hitting him now. This isn't good. Also, too, it's hitting him that he was maybe betrayed by somebody on the inside. One of his fellows may have helped set this up, too. That was illuminated as well. Again, Johnie, you say it best all the time. You can't be brokenhearted by a betrayer. God dang it, I'm making up words. You can't be brokenhearted and betrayed by a foe. You're brokenhearted and betrayed by a traitor, somebody who was next to you on the inside. So somebody who was fighting their battles threw you under the bus. You're going to be defending. Because right now, and you're here and now, is the Seven of Wands. You are defending. You know that this is about to be ugly. There's a new action. You know that in the emotions. The High Priestess is in the environment. Bruh. Be careful. The same thing that got you in this place with this sharing of time, particularly money and energy and resources, and make it also be the same thing that helps you if you share as much as that person who shared against you.
The domino effect.
Your word of warning is also your word of solace. You may want to use that. Okay, don't go out alone. If I had to give you any piece of advice, don't take this hit by yourself. You are not going to look like the hero. Okay. It ends with the Seven of Cups. A lot of options, confusion, but I got the star, got a little nervous. I was like, oh, is this going to be positive? But then I got another clarifying card in there. Five of Pentacles. So no, you're just very, very much going to be screwed. I don't know what else to say. I actually don't need to say anything else.
You brought it on yourself.
I mean. Speaking of running it on themselves, the last person I want to look at is Prince Andrew. I don't know why I wrote Prince Albert. I think
because did you know I not Googled that man, and I'm like, she must mean Andrew, because I know Prince Albert died in 1700 or something.
know if I was still traumatized from the Aldi experience and having to look at that man's situational, or if my autocorrect, I put in Andrew and it went Albert. I don't know, but Prince Andrew is now set adrift on memory's bliss. His own mammy has thrown him out to dry. 2 questions. Actually, I think I have 3 questions. I have 3. How's he feeling about his mama now? Because this is pretty new, and I'm not, as much as I keep checking, she is like you on your own, but there hasn't been much coming out about, how are they glaring at each other from across the dining room table now? So
because they stripped him of his title and his patrontages.
Yep, all
But
his military.
they didn't turn him over to anybody. They just,
they stripped it.
Yeah, saying you're bringing us shame.
I like that man's pants at Aldi. They just got stripped down.
They was like, you know what? If you're not going to secure us, then we're going to leave.
Literally ass out. For those of you who came in late, I got mooned at the grocery store. Long story, but I got mooned. And I'm going to be chuckling off of that for the next at least 72 hours.
I think this is a very big deal, actually. I mean, to me, at first, I really kind of didn't think it would be because, I mean, I'm still rich and blah, blah, blah. You don't like me anymore. Whoop-de-doo. Harry can do it. I can do it. But I feel like this is a very big deal with the 10 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles. This is turning the family kind of on its head. This is causing a lot of imbalance. This is causing a lot of chit chat in conversation behind the scenes. And then you got the 2 of Cups and the Strength. They are still trying to put forth at least the image that they are happy or that happiness has reigned. But with the 2 of Cups, the 2 of Cups is not necessarily a love card. It's a business card because the 2 people or 2 merchants coming together as union is where people get the love part. But it's like 2 forces are coming together still, and there's still something strong here, but this is more of a saving the image thing. Page of Wands and the Death, a huge change in the messaging. So there will be some, right now there has not been a statement, but there will be. And it needs to change the public perception of things. I do get a lot of, I put purify your body, mind, and soul, mental clarity. There is something within him that he needs to worry about more so than the family in their perception. There's a thing in here. You need to align actually all this. You need to redlentilhealing.com. That's what you need. Because you need some help with your whole stuff.
I mean, this is kind of how you got in this position to begin with.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. This was they are not on good. They're not going to be good no more after this. This has majorly shifted the dynamic of the relationship. And he's going to really juggle. Both of them are going to juggle. I think she's been juggling how to look at him since all the whole Dr. Epps and everything broke out. And how do I look at, he's my son, but this is, and not even so much, it's more, I just got to say it how I'm hearing it. What this does to the family. Not so much what it does to me as the mother, but how this looks as the family. And so she's been juggling that. Now he's like, but mommy. And it's this, it's rough. That's their challenge. He was the favorite son. This is the son in the past position, was literally son, S-U-N and not S-O-N. He was the light of everything, but not anymore. There's a lot of, how do we navigate this too? Like Johnie said, they're going to have to come out with a statement with the 7 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. You need to get ahead of this because this actually sent a really big picture. You denounced your son. You stripped your son from pretty much all of the royals serve military. There are things that have just been in history that they do, and you stripped all of that from your son. What does it say about the family? Y'all need to get together and come up with a very crafty message. And the outcome is literally the Queen of Wands, Queen Mom. She needs to, they're going to have to get on top of this. But she's going to be the one calling the shots going forward, which is what I think is very prophetic about the Queen of Wands being the outcome. It is her who's calling the shots now. She literally stripped him of everything.
Harry gave it away. She took it from him. That's a big deal.
So how is he feeling now? That's the relationship with the mammy. Mammy's calling the shots now. So how is he feeling?
I think there is an attempt to change her mind. I get the Queen right in the middle, and then Temperance and Hangman. There is a attempt to change her mind, change her perspective, also to work together, or to work on this. There's some sacrifice that, yes, I can make, but at the same time, I'm having to sell my mansion, and I'm having to do this, and all these other different kinds of things. I think he's broken, to be perfect. I didn't want to go so, but I think, because I get blackness, I get dark, like he's in a dark place, because I think he may feel the walls closing in type thing, because before it was just, oh, they over across the pond want to subpoena me, but they can't because I'm over here, and so I'm okay. But now from the inside, people are taking things from me. And so I also got to build your confidence, which I think he is broken. So I think he's in a dark place, personally.
He feels like somebody was out to get him with the Seven of Swords. That's how he's feeling. They're against me. He's also worried about his money because, again, stripping all of those titles from him also has a financial backlash to that, because that's their job and their retirement on top of being independently wealthy, right? So it's like she stripped his pension, his money. That's a lot. He's worried about that on top of the public perception that's going on. He knew what he did, this collaboration that he did was dirty in the past. He knew. That's why it's kind of like he just didn't know how, I don't know, how do I put this? Because he's so messed up, he didn't think it was going to be that bad. Because you have to remember, people who do bad, most of them don't think they're doing bad. They just think they're doing. Mm-hmm. So that realization is coming to him with Temperance and King of Swords. Knight of Swords or King of Swords? King of Swords, child, pay attention. So he's having to really relook at things and enlightenment. This was rough. And he's got to look at the long haul. I've got to fight through this with the Seven of Wands, perseverance, which is very funny because that was in the here and now. Same position, both readings, Seven of Wands. You have to fight through this. I mean, I have a whole bunch of thoughts, and I'm going to hold them in because they're not nice. And I don't want to get thrown off YouTube or demonetized. What's next for him? What now? That's what you get.
Mm-hmm. Brought it on yourself.
Yep. Thank you to all 304 of you who are watching right now. I appreciate you so much for spending this Saturday evening with Johnie and I, or Johnie and me.
What is next? More of the same. Four of Cups, is the first card, more of the same. There's a boredom and despondency, a retreat from reality. So it's more of the same. You are sort of stuck in a cycle that you can't do anything about, but you can't escape it either. The Knight of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles, family lineage, there's another reaction. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's another reaction. It may come from a man this time. Here with the King of Pentacles, or it involves him heavily, but he came up as a King of Swords for me. So there's another man here with the King of Pentacles in the Four of Swords. There's like a, I disown you or something like that. There's some sort of little, whatever, emotional thing attached to that. So the advice from the Oracle is to strengthen your faith because when back is against the wall, God sometimes is the only one that loves you. So you did wrong, boo-boo, but that is the only person that is probably going to forgive you in this plane. So cling to that and find your peace, I guess. Namaste.
Star and the Six of Swords. You want so badly to be victorious and to move ahead. And the Six of Swords is actually your challenge. You can't just walk away from this. You're not going to be able to just get to higher ground like you want to. Like you're telling yourself in your head, the Star, this is going to be positive. This is going to work out. However, if it was, this would not be your challenge, the Six of Swords. It wouldn't be. I'm going to tell you what else wouldn't happen. It is very evident the tower is in the past. Crap hit the fan, it blew up. And I'm gonna tell you what else also wouldn't happen. I'm sorry. Spirit's petty as hell. Six of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. You're not gonna be successful. Just your fate's turned. The success is overturned, my dude. It's just not. I don't know what else to tell you. You anxious as hell, Nine of Swords. You real worried. There is movement though. This is going to be a little bit slower than we think because again, this is someone tied to a royal family who did some deeds. You know, how do we get about this? But trust me, they're coming for you. So just wait. Just wait. You're extremely this news is making you very emotional with the Page of Cups. Yeah, again, your word of warning again is the Seven of Wands. I keep getting this for you. You're going to have to persevere. That is, like Johnie said, talk to God because he's probably the only person who's going to continue to love you through this. Okay. Your outcome card is Strength and Judgment. Y'all hear me trying to grab these damn cards. Strength and Judgment. This is, I mean. Sorry, but not at the same time because you shouldn't have been doing that nasty mess to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Royal or not. With that, at 1 hour 39 minutes. With 314 people watching. Thank you guys so much for watching. Johnie, thank you for joining me. Sorry I woke up on one. Do something.
Well, I have whatever. Just go ahead. What was you gonna say?
I'll wait for you the cat to let go of your tongue so you can say whatever it is you need to say. Here, let me spray you down. There you go. That's okay.
I'm back to yesterday tasting colors. I swear I'm not high.
What she said had 3 bowls for breakfast and it wasn't cereal.
What happened? I started the sentence and then half of it left and then the end came back. It's like, but what about that middle part that went away? Just forget it. I don't.
It was Deanna that was on it last night, not us.
Yes, we were trying. I was trying to behave because she all of her audience is not necessarily ours because we do different stuff, and so I'm like, I don't want to go over there and
start showing my
Be the
behind.
loud Negro in the room and all this here, but she fits right in.
So wonderfully, because I was like, God, we're gonna corrupt her. But I was like, no, because we already knew from the beginning that she had a little bit about it in her anyway.
Yes, she do.
With that, guys, please go check out Johnie, Becca, Jen Lynn tomorrow on Johnny's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Do the rest of the maths in your head for your respective time zones. We will see you guys on Friday, the 21st, on my channel for the non-political reads. What did we call it? Oh, frick, I forgot already.
It'll change because
Awesome.
something else will come up, I'm pretty sure.
With Johnie, Tony from Shining Hawk Healing, and Sienna. And then we'll also see you Saturday the 22nd on Sienna's channel for weird questions. Until then, take care of yourself.
16 minutes in. That's what we should make.
No, because there's a famous pornographic film with a very similar title from the 70s.
You won't do that then.
Because I don't want people to YouTube that and then get their
get us. Because no free shows. I don't wear boxer shorts.
Why do I know that? Why do I know that? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna quit now while I'm ahead. I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you. Peace and love. Be healthy. Bye, guys.